y'all, welcome back. I hope you've gotten some stretches in uh, after dancing your arms off, your your legs off, however you danced over that last set. And again, if you liked what you saw, feel free to go check out our last performer karaoke. Fantastic job with Bang Dream. But like I said, we have another fantastic playlist coming up for you. So please get your hype emotes ready, get your dance emotes ready. I want to see those jams, I want to see those boogies, I want to see those grooves! Because selcouthmind is here to take us to the rhythm dimension.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Cell. Normally I have a VTuber model. Not today, because you're just going to see a lot of angry faces, because this game makes us think really, really hard. So, no angry faces from models and rigging doing funny things. Instead, just absolute bangers, fun showcase of some really exciting songs in a game we really enjoy. And we're very, 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 very excited to have the lovely, lovely Soku who's going to be doing all the commentating because we cannot play this game and talk at
Oh
the
yeah.
same time.
Hi, I'm Zoku. I get to be your navigator through the rhythm dimension.
Mhm.
I hope you all brought your own maps and GPSs.
Ah, all right. So yeah, this is Spin Rhythm XD. The XD, I'm not quite sure how that got chosen. Zoku might have some facts on that later. Um, but there's different levels of difficulty. We're gonna do this on hard. Um, I know XD is the name for the hardest difficulty. Don't ask me to play it. I can't. I crash and burn right away. Yeah, no, I'm excited, and let's jump into the first song. So we're gonna start off with Bubbles, and timer will start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
So, this is, as Cell just said, Bubbles. It is a level 11 difficulty in the song. We'll go over this again later, but hard difficulty songs in this game go between level 8 to level 18. So we're starting off a little on the easier end. And we're going to take this to explain gameplay mechanics. There are going to be 7 different types of notes that Cell is going to be having to juggle here. You're seeing some of them right now. The little dots are matches. You just have to line up the color wheel on the bottom of the screen to hit them when they fly at you. The rectangles are taps. Those you have to click on them when they hit your plane. Sometimes you'll see coming from the taps. Those are holds. And you have to click and hold the mouse button until the end of the tail. If it's got a little arrow at the end of it, you'll want to release it once it hits that arrow, because that is a release note. There are also spins and scratches. That's a scratch that we just hit with the arrows going back and forth in both directions, followed immediately by a spin with arrows pointing either to the left or the right. When it's a scratch, you're going to want to wiggle your mouse back and forth to make sure you get that full scratchy motion. And then when it's a spin, you're going to want to shift your mouse in whatever direction the arrows are pointing, because this is a game that really likes its movement. And speaking of, we have 7 notes. That last note is the green line that you see flying at you. Those are beats, and those are the one note that does not use the mouse in this game. Beats are by default bound to a keyboard button, usually space or left shift. Of course, you can change that. We'll get into that later. But yeah, that's how you play the game. We'll let the song finish out. Please enjoy the jams. That was a full combo, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that. Our next song coming up is going to be Showdown by Fool. Our last song and Bubbles by Tokyo Machine and this song are both Monster Cat tracks, by the way. You'll see a lot of Monster Cat songs in this game. This song is actually one of Cell's favorite tracks, so I'm going to give you a moment to listen to exactly why they love this so much. Are we all feeling kind of funky now? So let's talk a little about the game interface. You can see there's the color wheel clearly at the bottom and the chart map coming from the top. You might notice that moves around a little. It's just a cool effect. The chart likes to dance to the song too, don't worry about it. On the left, you have the combo bar. Combos give you a score multiplier. The longer you hold the combo, the greater the multiplier will be, up to 4 times the points. And it'll drop down by 1 level every time you miss a note, and you'll have to build that up again. You might notice that there was a little star under the multiplier at the end of the last song. That's how I instantly knew Cell got a full combo. It starts out as blue for a perfect full combo. If you happen to miss the timing for a perfect, but you still hit the note, you can get a full combo anyway, and that's just a green star. And if you missed a note, that will go away completely. On the right side, you have the health bar. Anytime you miss a note, you'll take a hit, and when it runs out, you fail the track. Now, Cell, they've told me that they've never had it happen to them. I can tell you, it has happened to me from trying to jump to higher difficulties ASAP. Luckily, this game is very generous on letting you practice, and it does recharge as you play and hit more notes, so you can save yourself from bad run. If you do miss enough notes, the chart phases out for a short time, so you can't earn any score, but you don't lose any health when that happens. And of course, at the bottom is track info. It's also a timeline to show you how far along the song you are, and as you can see, we ended exactly here.
Hey,
All
and a
right.
new best.
Yo, congrats on the PB! I'm gonna keep you here for just a sec. Let's talk about scoring in this game. You see how detailed this ending screen is. It does the usual stuff like show your performance per section of the song. It looks like Cell got a miss a little in the beginning. That's why they have that little red bar towards the start. A nice little thing that Spin Rhythm does is you can click on any part of that chart to start practicing from that section. Like I said, this game is very generous with letting you practice. You can also click the practice button at the bottom of the screen to practice the full song. The scoring spectrum goes from perfect, miss to perfect, really. It's all perfect plus, rather. It's all based off your timing. And you can also see as they hover over the different kinds of notes, and again, count them, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that it'll also tell you how much your percentage of like how you hit each note. So they, if I could ask you to go over, hover over tap again, thank you. Perfect plus, out of however many notes, I can't do math right now, however many notes that were tapped in this chart, they hit perfect plus 59 times. That's a 16 millisecond time frame window that you have to hit it in to get perfect plus. Perfect's 38 millisecond, great is 59 milliseconds, good is 79 milliseconds. I'm not sure what okay is because the devs decide to not give that information, but you can see it just goes down from there. Since this game is actually still in early access, it was released in October 9th, 2019 on Steam, but it's been in early access and the devs have been working on it like since. They do update the scoring from time to time, and whenever they do that, they do actually, when I say update the scoring, I mean they change how it works. So they do update the score bar, the leaderboards completely. So if you're watching in the future, maybe everything I just said is now wrong. But this is a game generally where rhythm matters, which makes for some very fun charts. Like this next one, Ginger Lizard by Opuo.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
So Ginger Lizard is another funky track. This is a level 14 chart, so we're coming towards the middle of the difficulty spectrum in hard songs. Um, and you're gonna see here, the spin has a little tap note at the end of it. When you click towards the end of the spin note, it'll align to the next beat. So there, they clicked, and it snapped straight to the pink to hit that pink note. But you might also see there are some beat notes mixed into those spin sections. So beat notes, like I said before, are a button on the keyboard, and tap notes are clicks on the mouses. And I'm gonna tell you, as a normal player, it is very easy for me to mix the two up, because beat is a note that's only on hard difficulty and above. So if you click on a beat instead of pressing the button, that'll stop your spin in the middle of that section, and that can break your combo, and which is why it's extra fantastic that's not messing Cell up at all. Like any rhythm game, the charts and how they interplay with the music, especially using different notes, is the most fun part. I am not like a very strong musical person, but this song has a little bit of syncopation to it, which means that Cell is going to have to pay attention to both the main beat, which is what most of this chart is to, and also the underlying steady rhythm. Both the underlying steady rhythm and also the melody. Because sometimes they will have to do inputs off beats instead of to the beat. Speaking of how the charts work, one of my favorite things about the way this track works is how those smash notes sort of trail along with the brass. It really adds to the feeling of jamming to the song.
Yeah, you were saying about beats and taps getting mixed up? Mm-hmm. That happened here. That was my one miss.
I'm sorry, it's the commentator's curse.
The commentator's curse, so well.
That's what we'll blame this on. But you did, but you did still do fantastic. Are you ready? Our fourth song is High Score. This is a level 10, so we're still on the easier side of the difficulty spectrum. This is by Temanite and Panda Eyes. Temanite is a Monster Cat artist. You will be seeing a number of songs by him in the showcase. But I started talking about charting a little last song, so let's talk about that some more. Because spin rhythm has so many different notes, you can use them to punctuate the song differently, which really adds to the challenge. Because, like I said, that's 7 different notes, 7 kinds of inputs that Cell is now juggling in their head. So, like, you've got, like I said before, the mash notes guiding you across the track from one side to the other, but the tap notes interspersed, you have to remember to click as well. You can't just, like, move the wheel along. The beats are used to punctuate, especially for this one, this dubstep song. When that bass drops, that's when you can see the beat coming. And the holds like flow and zigzag along with the music. Now you might be wondering, does tempo do anything? It does not. Tempo does not affect the pace at which the chart flows. You can have fast songs and slow songs. You can change, I believe you can change a little like how fast the chart flows. I have not actually messed with that that option too much, or accessibility options in general, but we're going to talk about them a little later anyway. But what really matters is how the chart was for lack of a better word, chart it. So however many beats they put in there is what really affects how fast a chart can feel. But once you get the hang of the pattern, it feels really satisfying. Something the game encourages is trying to make use of how the wheel has multiple color sections. Now that does require keeping track of multiple moving parts, so you won't see Cell doing it too much here. But you see how that blue section jumped from the left to the right, and now the pink from the right to the left. The game actually does give you an achievement for chaining a color combo using 2 different sections of the wheel. So what you can do for things like that is you can catch one side of notes using one wedge, and then shift the wheel over a little to catch the other group of notes. About like 44% of players on Steam have that achievement. So really the difficulty is just getting your head around the moving parts.
Okay.
How are your hands feeling after
My
that?
hands
I
are
gotta
good.
ask.
We're gonna pause on that one just for a split second. I'm gonna restore while I stretch my hand out here. So, for those of you who don't know, we have a Bachelor of Music. That is our first degree. That is our first home in the education world. And as part of that degree, we had to do rhythm exercises. One of our classes, and some of those rhythm exercises required us to clap one rhythm, speak another rhythm, and stomp a third rhythm all at the same time. That was fun. We loved those exercises. The rest of the class hated them. We were nicknamed the Rhythm Queen for that reason. This game scratches that same itch. Probably because, as Zoku said, there's so many different inputs. It's hard, but it's fun. We like rhythm.
Like that's sincerely amazing. It's what you described, like I think it's commonly shown on the internet as that like video where like one hand is tapping to one beat and then the other hand like sort of gradually increases.
Yeah, that same sort of
it's
concept, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that same sort of thing, but with different
parts, yeah.
actions, and wow. I can understand why you were nicknamed the Rhythm Queen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right, but I think it's time for Inject.
All right, so let's head into it. Inject, as you may have seen, is a level 8 in terms of difficulty. So as a reminder, that is on the easiest side of of the hard difficulty saws. Let's talk a little about that. Again, hard difficulty ranges from level 8 to 18, and there are 5 difficulty levels in this game. You've got easy, which ranges from 1 to 6, normal from 4 to 12, hard, which is what every song that Cell is playing today will be on, expert, 14 from 22, and XD, which was mentioned earlier, the hardest difficulty, ranges from 23 to 30. There's a little bit of overlap between levels from easy to expert, but difficulty in this game isn't just about adding more notes to a track, because I've been hyping up that Cell is juggling 7 different inputs. Spin Rhythm builds on its difficulty levels in 2 ways, both by the kinds of notes you get and track length. So we've talked about how there can be 7 different kinds of notes on the chart. With easy, you only get 3. Match the little round dots, tap the little rectangles, and spin, which you spin. A normal adds the hold and scratch, the one where you wiggle from side to side, for a total of 5. Expert just builds on hard difficulty, and when you jump to XD difficulty, it adds 2 variations on beat notes, which are the green lines. And it's not just like the different kinds of notes, but also the track length. This song is actually a bad example of this, because on easy through expert, it's the same length, it's about like 2.5 minutes long. But on XD difficulty, it goes to the full almost 4 minutes. So different difficulty levels can give you completely different charts, which is also like a fun replay value for this game. Oh, I love when the match trails sort of like set you up for the color shift, like just happened there. And look at that full combo!
Woo!
I'm seeing some comments in chat. It's about as input heavy as Sound Voltex, and Sound Voltex is more complex. I would both agree and disagree on those. I have played Sound Voltex. I'm also not great at Sound Voltex. Sound Voltex has 4 buttons, and so, sorry, 6 buttons. Before anyone corrects me on that, there are 6 buttons to Sound Voltex and the knobs. But the thing about Spin Rhythm is this game was actually originally designed for a DJ turntable controller. I've mentioned that this game is like really heavy on movement as like a concept. And yes, you've got the knobs in Sound Voltex. This game has been like promoted as sort of a spiritual successor to DJ Hero. And while you can certainly play it with the mouse and get a similar feeling, you can see when there are spins, and you'll see in this next track that the spins are really like integral to these charts. Speaking of which, if you're ready, Sel.
Yeah, it is time for more Temanite.
Ooh, yes. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! So we just had the easiest song in the game the easiest song on hard difficulty. This is now the hardest song, not just on hard difficulty, but in the game. Believe is a level 18 song. It is usually the last on the song selection chart. And on all difficulty levels, it is always at the top of the difficulty spectrum. I talked a little about how higher difficulty levels have increased track length. You'll see this song is almost 5 minutes long. On easy and normal, it's only about 2.5 minutes long. Expert and XD knocked this up to 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Ooh, that that beat and tap section is extra. It's extra tricky. But I love how, again, it mixes up the inputs, and then the holds like positioned nicely for the trail that follows. So I mentioned before, again, this game was originally meant for a DJ turntable. You can see that especially with the spins, the scratches, the kinds of movements that like a DJ might make that sound. Apologies for the bad sound effect. Spins, like you can really see how it that might really be more satisfying with that tactile feeling. A mouse recreates it just as well. But this game allows for a lot of different controller inputs, including keyboard only and gamepad as well. But it really is the kind of game that feels best with some movement. So if you decide to pick this up, again, it is on Steam Early Access at the moment, but should be getting full release soon. Would strongly recommend playing it with a mouse. So here, if you got messed up by any of the trail before, lots of holds and spins here, good for health recovery. There's an interesting zigzag here on this hold note. And then the beat, you can hear the beat beginning to pick up again. And as you see, before we had like a lot of spins, a lot of holds, but there are more notes being mixed in as the beat picks up. So before you had like just spins, now you've got beats into spins. Now the taps and matches are coming back. Now the holds aren't quite as long. And while most of the songs in this game are EDM, This song, as long as it is, does have a genre shift. Right here. So you'll notice that even though there are long stretches to time with the sax solo, the notes are coming much quicker. And again, it's not that the flow of the chart is actually coming faster, it's just that there are more notes crammed in there. And then it jumps back and forth again, that tricky little wheel shifting motion that you have to do to catch all of those. Job!
That was Believe.
Oh.
You know what? 12 misses. Not bad for me for this game.
And not bad for this song,
not
and
bad.
it looks like the hardest part was really the jazz solo.
The jazz solo is hard. I have spent time in the practice tool at like 75% speed trying to get it to work. Such a good song, though. I enjoy 10 Night stuff.
It really is. And it looks like chat's loving it too. So after that, how are you feeling, chat? How are you feeling, Cell?
I'm feeling good, but I'm feeling like we need to like calm things down a little bit. I'm just gonna like relax with some nice like piano stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got the perfect song for us here. This is Metropole by Anomaly. We've been listening to a lot of hard-hitting, faster EDM tracks. The funky ones in particular are some of my favorites. So let's kick it up. Let's kick things down a little with some new jazz. So, despite most tracks being EDM based, you will find a good variety. You've heard like the funky stuff, you've heard full dubstep, now you've got this piano based new jazz. While I've mentioned that a lot of songs are licensed from Monster Cat, when they started this game, they thought they'd license like 30 tracks at most. They added 55, like like 3 more songs just last month to bump that up to 55. So, as the game is continuing to be worked on, really there is just such a good amount of stuff out there. And that's just the base game. I think the game is like $20 when it's not on sale because it's in early access right now. I don't know if that'll change when it goes full release. But not only does it have currently 55 songs. Sorry, I blanked on that number for a minute. Not only does it currently have 55 songs with, again, tracks of 5 different varieties for you to play, 5 different difficulties for you to play. There are custom charts. You can design your own chart for any of these tracks, and of course, like any popular rhythm game on PC, Beat Saber, Osu, you can design tracks for songs of your choosing.
Is chat nice and relaxed after that?
I don't know about chat, but I'm feeling relaxed. How about you, Sal?
Oh, that was a nice break. I forgot how hard it was, though. I haven't played that one in a while, not gonna lie.
As I mentioned, this song is deceptively slow, 100 BPM. That difficulty level is higher up there at level 15. Again,
Mm-hmm.
that hard difficulty maxes out at level 18. So let's jump over to our next track, Superimposed RGB. You don't have to start it if you're not ready. Whenever you're ready, Sal, feel free to jump into it. This This is composed by Douglas Holmquist. He's done a number of game compositions for indie games, but this song was actually an original composition for Spin Rhythm XD. They do have a soundtrack with a couple of original compositions, and this is one of them. If our last one was New Jazz, this one has like more of that 80s vaporware feel to it. And so a frequent concern for rhythm game streamers on Twitch is Content ID, DMCA. I believe all the songs in Spin Rhythm are actually okay, whether because of the way they're licensed. Monster Cat has a licensing system that allows you to use their content so long as you purchase their license. They'll Content ID it, but they won't ever actually claim it or mute it. Of course, original tracks like this one are fine. I believe one of the earlier ones, I think the last one, Metropole, was on an album that was kickstarted. And the nature of kickstarted or crowd-funded albums means that those albums need to be free licensed. So all the songs in the base game have that same, not really limitation, like have that same, I guess, licensing set on them. So, you can stream these free of worries. Now, I did mention there are custom charts available. People make custom charts for songs that they like, including anime and game tracks. Those, not so much. But again, you've got 55 songs in the base game. Maybe you too can work your way up to be an amazing person in the rhythm direction, just like Cell. Because look at that, we still got a full combo going on right now. We've still got like about a minute until the end of the song, so hopefully I just curse them. But enjoy the vibes. Air Palka in chat saying a while ago custom charts used to be really hard, but they think by now that there's quite a few beginner-friendly ones as well. That is really good to know. In which case, I think that's just an extra point in this game for anyone interested in that. But that's actually a good point. The Spin Rhythm devs, something that they've explicitly stated in their updates for this game is that they want to make Spin Rhythm a game accessible to game players of any experience. So whether you're someone experienced in rhythm gaming, someone more casual like me, again, hi, I'm like, I can only safely clear normals. Or someone who lives and breathes rhythm, there is a difficulty level for you. And like I said, easy is from 1 to 6, so it's right there for you to jump in if you're new to rhythm games and think you might want to give this a try.
And like, we started out with easy, and then we worked our way up to hard. We did not start at hard. But also, new best. Yay.
And full combo!
Alright, chat, are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready for this next song. I don't know if chat's ready.
I think they need to get hyped up a little more.
We're just
So can I get some jam emotes and some dance emotes in chat? I want to see how how ready to go higher you are.
I'm gonna pause on this song here so we don't spoil what it is. Alright, I'm seeing some hype in chat. I'm seeing some hype. Alright. Alright, are we ready? Should we show them? I think we should show them.
It looks like they're ready. Let's go climb a mountain.
Let's go climb a mountain. Let's do it.
Ready up. 3, 2, 1, go!
Last song, Superimposed RGB, was composed for this game. Beyond the Heart is a song that was originally part of the Celeste Farewell DLC. Yes, it is composed by That Lena Rain. And yes, it has been remixed by That Lena Rain specifically for Spin Rhythm. You can also get this on the Spin Rhythm original XD original soundtrack. And while I'm at it, if any of these songs are catching your ear, you're not sure you're ready to take a dive into the hardcore depths of the rhythm dimension yet, the Spin Rhythm community manager has created playlists on all the various music services, so you can listen to them there as well. So we talked a little about charting before, and unfortunately, apparently, the Spin Rhythm community is less fond of this chart. They seem to think it's not as well charted as some of the other tracks. I'm gonna be honest with you, as someone who can barely beat the lowest levels of hard. I can sort of see why, and also I'm not sure how much of that is my own skill issue. Which, you know, tracks because the same applies for me and Celeste. But I think this track does have a good amount of how to put this? The beats line up very nice. This is a very beat-heavy song, and I do think, even if I don't like exactly where the notes line up, you know what? That's what custom charts are for. The jams are good here. You know, that would be a great time to actually talk about the backgrounds, because these backgrounds were all individually created for the songs. This one has that nice soaring into the heights feeling with the clouds and the terrain. It looks kind of like a geographical, not geographical, but it does look kind of like an elevation map underneath it. And in a couple of songs, you'll see how they like to play with that theming visually as well, for other tracks when that's available.
Yeah, that charting is rough. I'd forgotten how rough the charting is, but the song is so beautiful.
It really is.
Hopefully, in the full release, they'll update the chart and make it a little bit less awkward. Because that is the most awkward chart to play in the entire game.
Well, I've got some news for you, Sel.
Ooh.
Spin Rhythm community, super involved. I just mentioned the community manager. They've created playlists on the various music services, Spotify, Apple Music, and so on. Spin Rhythm has its own Twitch channel with weekly competitions. Maybe bi-weekly, monthly. I'm not sure about the timing because it was the holiday season. Monthly? Yes. Yes, monthly competitions called Remixed. Yes, that ixed sound at the end is the XD, not XED, where people can submit their own charts for the base game songs, which, by the way, that song was one. And the winner can be added to the game in future updates. So we may see a recharting of that song in the future.
That would be awesome.
But before I continue into the rest of that spiel, our next song is No Limits. We're jumping back into the higher end of the difficulty spectrum. This is a level 15 track. Um, when I was looking up genres to get a sense of how varied the songs for the showcase were, I learned what color bass is because this song is apparently color bass, which is a mix of a future bass and more like melodic dubstep and bro step. Um, EDM is wide and varied and has the funkiest names, y'all. But here you're hearing some of that melodic dubstep influence. And let's go back to talking about the spin rhythm community, because not only do they have those competitions where people can submit their own charts and possibly get in the game, they host community tournaments every few months for players of all skill levels to compete. And of course, there is a separate tournament for the elite. They're literally called Open Eights and Elite Eights, uh, respectively. So you can feel free to jump in and join the community and just challenge yourself against other players in the community. Um, I also mentioned that there was the custom tracks, the custom charts that you can make. There is a custom scene on the site called SpinShare. For licensing purposes, they do have to keep that separate. But as Airpaka mentioned, there are charts of all sorts of difficulties on there. And I have seen spin rhythm showcases with some rhythm game hits like Conflict or other video game tracks that are escaping my mind right now because this jam is so good. That's what we're gonna say. I mentioned that there are remixed competitions because this song was actually the focus of a remix competition in the beginning of December, just this last month. The winner doesn't seem to have been announced yet, but basically the devs are very involved with the community. So if that's something that you like in your rhythm games, Spin Rhythm is here for you. And we've got MK Nerd pointing out that there's a good chunk of custom songs that exceed the maximum difficulty, which again in this game is 33. Wait, sorry, 30, not 33. Woo! Base game is 30. I'm sure the custom charts are 33. So if you are really looking for a challenge, Spin Rhythm's got that for you as well. Those note trails when following one just sort of puts you perfectly in place to catch the next one in a different color. Those are some of my favorites in the chart. Very easy to pick up, very satisfying.
Huh, that was a new best, amazingly. Okay. Huh.
Nice.
Oh.
And actually, still, if I could, I've been pointing out my favorite things to see in a chart. What are some of yours?
Mm. Honestly, I love a good scratch into a spin with a beat. That's just, I
Ooh, that
love those. Such a fun combo.
yeah, that feels like that feels like it'd be amazing on a turntable.
I'm sure it would be. I haven't played this on a turntable yet, but maybe one day. Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm going to jump in and talk a tiny bit about the next section.
Oh, please feel free. This is your brainchild.
So the next 4 songs I'm going to do, so I was selected to do this showcase at Frosty Hills coming up the end of February. And I have proposed an incentive of 4 songs, all by Temanite, all from the same album. They're 4 pirate-themed songs. I am super excited. I have permission to show them tonight. So if you want to see them there, though, hopefully it gets accepted as an incentive, and you can donate towards it. But yeah, we got pirate songs, and one of these 4 is one of the 3 new songs in the game. So we're gonna start with that one. I'm gonna hope that it's pretty good. I think I've played this song about 10 times, so I'm still kind of learning it. Fingers crossed this goes well.
That's what happened with new songs. But yes, if you could all just raise your bottles of rum.
Here, Jim, have a seat and I'll tell you a tale that'll cause your blood to run cold. It was a dark and stormy night, 3 weeks out of Ilfracombe, bound for the Isle of Lundy. Just east of Devil's Slide, late in the middle watch, there was a call from the fore topsail yard. Through the mist and fog, a dark shape emerged, a ghostly figure standing at its helm. Corset, intent clear, it bore down upon us. On the wind, a refrain to strike fear into the heart of any man. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo, and a bottle of rum. And the devil had done for the rest, yo, and a bottle of rum, and another bottle of rum. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo, and a bottle of prisoners. And the devil had done for the rest, yo, send them to the depths.
So this is Raise the Black Flag. It is a level 17 track, which puts it at the higher end of the hard difficulty spectrum. As mentioned, it is by Temanite. All these next 4 songs are from Temanite's Raise the Black Flag album, which is defined, the genre is defined as pirate dubstep. And you can definitely see those influences in the background. You got the skull and crossbones, all the shipwrecks, the ocean, the rolling waves. Something I, again, as like a baby normal player, I literally just started playing this game this past week. And something I appreciate is that even the hard songs I mentioned, you can hit notes and slowly regain your health bar. Even the hardest tracks, because of the way the songs are laid out and due to their length, there are slower sections that allow you to sort of take a breather. And then you get straight back into this pounding thing.
We're gonna need a bigger gun. Oh, let's use that one.
And you really get that feeling of like impending stomping forward from the way the taps and the matches sort of storm at you. It's not all in one side, it's going back and forth, kind of like you're stomping forward. Spin Rhythm starts really, I think, because the movement is so key to it. In our previous showcase, Charbani mentioned how rhythm games are a fantastic way to just sort of dance to the song. Spin Rhythm charts, because there is that added movement factor, I think, is a stellar example of how that works. need
That
some
was
rum.
not bad at all. And yes, I see in chat someone saying that the Temanite tracks don't hold back. Absolutely true. They are so good. They're absolute bangers. I love listening to them. But the charts are, whoever charted the Temanite songs did a fantastic job of charting them because they're so hard, but also so good to play.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Track segment is Ghost Shit. We're gonna dial down the difficulty. This is a level 11 track. But please rest assured, this one still goes hard. I mentioned earlier that the album that these are all from, Raised the Black Flag, is described as pirate dubstep. And it's not just the vocal theming. Like you heard the opening of Raise the Black Flag. It had spoken narration. It's also that very epic feeling of being on the high seas, of danger. And Airpak and Chad commenting instant rhythm. It really feels like you're playing the chart. It really does feel like you actually are going with the music. And yeah, that's definitely great thanks to how great some of those charts are. In other games, it can definitely feel like you're not... Maybe you're hitting something to the beat, but you're not really moving with the music. But despite being a level 11, this track does not hold back. This chart does not hold back. You see, we've got the jumps, we've got the mix-ups. Not a full combo!
And a new best as well. Very nice.
Very nice. Congrats.
Oh. Now we're gonna go to the song that has my favorite drop of the entire game.
Are we ready to release it?
Are we ready? Are we ready for the Kraken?
I think you should
Well,
release the
let's go.
Kraken.
Let's release the Kraken.
Kraken is a level 15 on the difficulty scale. We're jumping up again a little. And while the opening part is a little bit playful with mostly mash notes, a couple of taps, skipping back and forth. Once you hit the harder, more epic instrumentation, it brings in the other notes, the spins, the holds, that sense of something is coming. And that something is going to be the drop that Cell mentioned, in fact. deck.
Ah, yes, release the crack. Oh, look at that. We're just like PBing the entire pirate set here.
You know what? No complaints.
No
Arr,
complaints.
matey.
But yes, release the Kraken. I love that drop. Just that.
You showed that Kraken who's boss.
Oh yeah. All right, should we do the last of the pirate songs before we get back to the last?
Have
bit
to.
of our, before we get to the last of our set, last pirate song. I think it's time
Well-
for an after party after we defeated that Kraken.
Is no party like a pirate after party. And I think that's all the PBs you've been getting sound like a good cause for
Pirate
celebration.
best. I love that. Pirate best.
Oh, that is a good one.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Pirate After Party, our last track of the pirate set, is a level 14 track, solidly in the middle. But if Kraken is Cell's favorite, this is mine because it's just a fun time. Like, I talk a lot about how the chart really enables movement. It's easy to jam along to while you're shifting your mouse along with it. If you are a keyboard player and so choose, it's easy to just sort of shift your body over with the spins with the notes. And you really see that swaying here, swaying back and forth. Chat that this is reminiscent of high score. You know, you're right. Actually, I haven't thought of it like that. But high score is actually another one that I really like personally. So yeah, it definitely has the same feeling, both musically and chart wise. And of course, Temanite was involved with that one too. but still an A plus.
Hey. Yeah, I had a miss in there. Oh well. That's a fun song. I enjoy it too. That's a good one.
I think we can give you a break for jamming, taking a little
Oh yeah.
of the party libations.
I may have jammed a little too hard and forgot to align my mouse properly, but it's fine. It's fine. Alright.
Alright, well, I've been talking about my favorite tracks. Flight, this one is one of your favorite tracks, I believe.
It's so beautiful. It's so good. It's hard, but it's really good.
Are you ready? 2, 1, go!
Alright, so let's talk about how they just mentioned that this is hard. Flight is well, actually, I'm not sure with the addition of Raise the Black Flag anymore, but Flight is also a level 17 track, and was, prior to the addition of Raise the Black Flag, the second hardest song in the showcase today. Which means let's talk a little about accessibility, because maybe you're like me and a baby rhythm game player, or maybe you just need a little help. You might have seen on those score screens, it gives you a sense of your timing, like how many, like an average of how many milliseconds off you were to like perfect inputs. Not only that, but the game has a lot of accessibility options. All these colors, you see they're mostly like blue and pink, some purple for the spin, some teal there. You can change all of that. The entire color palette is there for you to mess around with. You can change the colors on the wheels, and you can change the beat bar color, the scratch colors. Yes, even the rainbow back and forth scratch color, and the spin colors, and the highlights. So you can change all of that. We've also mentioned that this game was designed with movement in mind. Ideally, a DJ turntable. There is an option to use a MIDI controller, so you can play this with, like, not a game controller, but a full-on turntable. Of course, you can also play this with a keyboard and gamepad, however you best enjoy the game. But you can customize all those inputs however you like. And I've apparently heard of someone who has plays this game with a steering wheel. I don't know how they did it. I would love to see that for myself someday, but it is apparently possible. And of course, all these effects, we may have forgotten to give a flashing lights warning at the beginning of the showcase, or that, but you can certainly change the background to be more simple, change those the audio spectrum effects, change the shake, the track motion, put high contrast on the nose, whatever makes the game easier for you to play, that option is in there. And another
Another pirate
Hey.
vest. I am surprised. I did not think that was going to be a pirate vest. Yes, I'm officially calling all PBs in this song pirate vests now. Thank you, chat, for that idea.
You know what? That sounds great. You should be reaping all that plunder.
Mm-hmm. I have a request for chat for the last song. We're gonna go into this last song. I want you, if you've got like, you know, lighter emotes, or like, grab your phone, turn on the flashlight, wave it around for this next song, because it has those vibes. We're gonna close it out with a nice, very chill, beautiful song.
For our last song, we will be playing Adventures. It is a level 10, as you can see on the screen, on the easier side of difficulty. And chat, you've all been amazing sports for listening to me bladder on tonight over Cell doing amazing on this game. So for this last one, I will raise a hypothetical lighter up with the rest of you, and we're just gonna sit back and vibe.
All right, let's go on our final adventure.
2, 1, go! All right.
And that is time.
Now, for speedrun, we might normally give you your time. I'm not sure if you want that here.
I don't particularly need it. I know roughly how long that all takes.
But congratulations on a fantastic showcase and getting all those pirate bests.
Oh, I know, so many pirate bests. But I think I've saved a few for Frost Fatales. So if you want to see this game, you want to see me do this set again, if you want to help ensure that those pirate songs get played, assuming, of course, they haven't released incentives list yet. But if you want to see those songs get done, tune by Games Done Quick at... what day is that? On Friday, March the 3rd, in the evening, North American time. If you're a different time zone, you can go to the GDQ website and you can find the exact time there. But yeah. If you want to... Go ahead, Zoku.
No, go ahead. It sounds like you were about to introduce where people can find you, and that was exactly what I was going to prompt you for.
I was going to say, yeah, if you want to see me elsewhere, you can find me on Twitch at selcouthmind. You can also find me on YouTube at the selcouthmind and selcouth speedruns. Your choice. I've got kind of two different kinds of content there, different channels. I play tons of indie games. I do a lot of speedrunning of different things. And speaking of speedruns, come back next Thursday, to this very channel, and you're gonna get to see me speedrun a whole other game. Very cool little indie game called The Red Lantern. We're doing a new game plus run of that, where I get to take a lovely team of sled dogs on a journey through the Alaskan wilderness.
Whoa.
It's gonna be that run. So tune in. It's gonna be a really, 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 really fun show next week. Come back for that. But of course, yeah, if you want to see me do this set list again, hopefully get some more Pirate Best Frost at the very end of February, early March.
I believe it's early March is when your showcase will be.
The Friday, March 3rd, I think, is when this one is scheduled.
But yeah, keep an eye out for more Cell as they get better and better at this game.
And thank you to Zoku for learning all this commentary and picking up the game, and yeah.
Thank you for getting me into this. I was asked to be Cell's commentary for this because this is a very hard game to talk and focus on at the same time. And I have experienced firsthand why that is, but it is fantastic. I've been enjoying my time with it. Again, a very short time. I'm looking forward to improving and playing more of it. And hopefully we've gotten you all to be interested in this indie rhythm game as well. That is it for our Spin Rhythm Showcase today. We've got some closing announcements for you all, so stick around. We'll be right back with those. Alright, and thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for a fantastic night of jams. I hope you've been enjoying the music, and maybe you've been inspired to pick up again one of the fantastic games we've had on tonight, whether that's Bandori, formed by the fantastic Karaoke, or what you just saw, Spin Rhythm XD by the amazing selcouthmind. And if you want to see more games performed by women and femmes showing off the stuff they love, feel free to drop us a follow. We've got shows twice a week. In fact, coming up this Sunday, we will have Bunny Spun Rima with the Unhinged Rant series as she talks about Toho. Yes, that Toho. The one with girls in a shmup and magical powers for 3 hours. There's a lot of lore. I've been told there's a lot of lore, and we may have a discussion about what the proper way to pronounce Toho is. Don't tell anyone I said it's Toho. And of course, coming up next Thursday, we've got another twofer for you. January 26th, we will be showcasing Abby performing Signs of the Sojourner, Any Percent. And of course, selcouthmind, who you just saw performing Spin Rhythm XD, as they mentioned, will be back with the Red Lantern. It'll be another night of fantastic speedruns. For now, of course, thank you all so much for being here. We wish you all a fantastic night. And of course, speaking of Signs of the Sojourner, we're off to raid Games Done Quick, featuring another member of our community, Pippi in a Top Hat, showing off how to speedrun Signs of the Sojourner. So stick around, and we'll see you next time.